Just a personal note here. First of all, I think, Marla, you're the one to put together this arrangement. It's very nice. And thank you for the Mass for Father Griffin. You old-timers will remember Father Griffin around this time would put up the pumpkin family. Remember the pumpkin family? Oh, yes. And he'd have faces on all the pumpkins and have them arranged, you know, the whole family. And when he was reassigned to the parish in Yonkers, he sent the picture to us showing that there he also did the pumpkin family. So he always liked the harvest time. And for the Jewish people, this is a harvest time. They call it Sukkot, or in the Gospel of John, it's called booths, where they set up little shacks outside their house. They have to eat, but it's a harvest festival. Anyway, speaking of harvest, the last several Sundays, we've been in the vineyard. You know, a couple of weeks ago, it was the workers in the vineyard, and the owner of the vineyard went out several times to the marketplace bringing back workers, and they all went home happy except for the jealous workers. And then last week we had the two sons. One son said, "I won't go into the vineyard," and then went, and the other son said, I will go into the vineyard, and didn't. And who was the one doing God's will, the Master's will? And so now we're back in the vineyard. And it's interesting to note that Isaiah, and the beginning of the reading from Isaiah and the beginning of the reading of Matthew's Gospel are very much alike. Now, God is the landowner, and he cares for his vineyard very much. He sets everything up. Listen to what he does. He plants the vineyard. He digs the winepress. He builds a tower. Well, what's the purpose of a tower? We have a lookout in the tower to prevent robbers and foxes and other animals from stealing the produce. He cares for his vineyard very much. And the other thing, too, is that now we're in chapter 21 of Matthew. Now, the beginning of chapter 21 has the triumphant entrance into Jerusalem, Palm Sunday. So here we are just after Palm Sunday. And last week, this week, and weeks to come are all the lessons that Jesus is giving to his disciples. It's almost like we're cramming for finals. And these are very important lessons. So we're going to be hearing more of these lessons in weeks to come. This is the time right after Palm Sunday, right before Good Friday. Very important. Jesus is teaching his disciples. Also note that we're back in the vineyard, and the vineyard is leased to these tenants. But he's talking right at the very beginning, he's talking to the chief priests and the elders of the people. And he's calling them the tenants. And then he says, what do the tenants do? When he sends his workers to get his produce, the tenants kill those workers. Well, those are the prophets. Jesus is talking about all throughout the history of the Hebrews. God cares for his people, and yet the leaders of the people mistreat them and mistreat the prophets. And he sends more prophets, and they are also mistreated. And so many times in the readings of the prophets, you hear them telling about danger on every side. Of course, when you read Jeremiah, he's always whining, but the point is they're after him. So now we have the elders and the teachers of the people, and Jesus, the Son. Boy, I tell you, if you miss this metaphor, it's amazing. He's right there. Jesus, the Son, has come, and in a few days' time, he will be taken out of the vineyard, out of Jerusalem, and crucified outside of Jerusalem. Get all this? And the stone which the builders rejected, Peter recites that same line to the Sadducees when he's confronted with them. The Sanhedrin, when he's confronted with them and accused. And he tells them, you put him to death. The stone which the builders rejected, the cornerstone, you put him to death. So this is a very powerful lesson that we have. Oh, okay, so what does it mean to us? If it's so powerful, where's the meaning for us? Because now you are the new tenants. Congratulations. I hope you're happy to be a new tenant. We want you as the new tenants. You're good people. We need you to tend the vineyard. And not just the vineyard in the confines of this church, the vineyard outside the church. We need you to care for the people of God. We need you to be good stewards of his vineyard. Because we're not just stewards of the vineyard figuratively. Pope Francis also tells us we are the stewards of the vineyard literally. Ecologically speaking, we are responsible for this world and this water and the air. All these things we're responsible for. And so now we're told to go out. We're given the vineyard. And now it's our turn to accept the forgiveness of God, to accept the Eucharist from Jesus, and to take these blessings out to the whole world. For now, we are the new tenants of his vineyard.